If I could go back and start Etsy all over again, there are 7 mistakes that I would absolutely avoid that have cost me time, money, and even issues with taxes. And so in today's video, I'm going to share with you everything that I wish I did not make mistakes with when I first got started with Etsy. And hopefully some of these tips can help you to not make the same mistakes regardless of where you're at in your Etsy journey, but especially if you're a beginner or looking to be an Etsy seller. So jumping right in, the very first mistake is not doing product research. Now I know that research is the least sexy part of selling online because let's be real, it's not fun and it does take a lot of time. However, without doing research and knowing what is already selling and what people are already looking for, if you don't do this, you are not going to get sales. If you just jump on Etsy and start listing random products that you want to sell, you want to create, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it really is going to be a waste of your time. Trust me, from somebody that has done it myself. My first Etsy shop, I immediately started creating things that I really wanted to buy, but I quickly realized that no one else was really looking for those things. And with Etsy having an algorithm, it's going to push products that people are searching for, buying, favoriting, and that's kind of how you get into that flow of actually selling products. So if you create this store based on all this stuff that you want to sell without doing any research, if someone's actually looking for that, odds are that you're not going to get sales on that shop. There's a very valuable skill of being able to do this research and then implementing your own creativity and artistry on top of that to add something new and valuable to the market. Now, what I recommend doing if you're somebody that's getting started is going on Etsy to look for inspiration and look for things, again, that are already selling. So if you have an idea of what you already want to sell in, I would absolutely do a search for that on Etsy. You can use different Chrome extensions like something like EverBee or eRank, where you can physically see how many people are actually buying products, how many favorites that product has, and even how much money the product's bringing in, again, to know if it's worth you creating something similar. You can also tell by doing a search on Etsy for a specific product or niche, whether there are a lot of bestsellers or popular now badges that Etsy is showing. This is also valuable information. And I would also recommend when you click on a product that maybe catches your eye on that first or second Etsy page for that search result, to go ahead and see if maybe there are really good reviews and take note of what exactly those reviews are saying about the product. It's a really great thing when we're selling on a marketplace because we are able to use other people's products as research, not copying, but research to see, again, what's already selling and if there's a demand for that product. Now, this leads me into my next mistake, which is trying to reinvent the wheel. Now, I did briefly touch on this in talking about the last mistake of seeing what's already working and then bringing in your own creativity rather than trying to create a market. So if you already see what's selling, what people are buying, you don't have to make something completely new. You want to pull from those products that are already selling. Now, a great way that I like to do this is to take 2 best-selling or popular now listings and see what I can pull out of those listings to create 1 new listing. So for example, if I'm selling print-on-demand products and I notice that a pink bow is doing really well on a nursing shirt, and then I also see that cursive or fun lettering is doing well on another nursing shirt, I can combine those 2 things into a 1 brand new design to add, again, something new and valuable to the market based off of 2 things that are already selling. Moving on to mistake number 3, which is thinking that more products is better. Of course, the more surface area that you have, sure, the more sales you can potentially get. However, quality outruns quantity every single day on Etsy. And what I mean by quality is it really doesn't have to do with what the product is that you're selling. It more so has to do with that people are searching for it. But also what that means is that your listing needs to be optimized. So you can list the best product ever on your Etsy shop that you spent 30 hours on. You could list that on your Etsy shop and get no sales if your listing is not optimized. So spending that time to make a quality listing is going to be so much better for your shop rather than just like throwing random 2-minute templates that you spent on, or you made them with AI and you did no research and you're just throwing them all over your store. Those are not necessarily going to sell as well as something that you take your time and energy to create based off of the market, based off the research, and then actually making a good quality listing. Your first few products that you create, again, regardless of what you're selling, are gonna be the hardest, right? But once you get over that hump of creating the product creation will come to you more naturally and be more of a flow. Same with your Etsy listings, but really do take your time on those first few products, or honestly all your products that you list, so you can really be sure that they're curated well, that they look good, and that someone would wanna buy it. Put yourself in the buyer's shoes. Would you be happy clicking on that listing? Would you even wanna click on your listing and buy it? Be really honest with yourself and take that time to create a quality product that someone's actually spending their money on, right? Now, I made this mistake when first getting started with print on demand. I had a niche that started taking off for me. And what I did instead of creating quality listings was just trying to pump out as many different designs as I could because I got excited. But those designs all flopped because I wasn't taking the real time to create the mock-up photos and basically do what I did for a successful listing, which was take my time. Yes, it is better to have more Etsy listings, but what I'm not going to tell you is to just throw a bunch of random stuff on your shop and think, oh, well, now I have a bunch of products. No, take your time to make sure that all your listings are curated. And then once you have those curated listings, you can learn from them and then optimize further on more listings. Now, mistake number 4 is one that I deeply regret because it really did cost me a lot of money and stuff that I didn't realize on taxes. So that is to take your Etsy business seriously. Treat it like an actual business because it is, especially when you start bringing in money. And with money comes different responsibilities because now we're dealing with customers, we're dealing with reviews, we're dealing with taxes, we're dealing with business side of stuff. So from the beginning, when you start this out, and it's not to put pressure, but just to look at it as something that is actually a line of income, not just like a side thing. Now, one big thing of this is when I first got started, I put all of my business finances mixed with my personal finances. And from the get-go, this is something that a lot of people do when they're first starting out, which is okay. However, when that money starts becoming consistent, you definitely want to think of separating these things. So what I do recommend for this is creating a separate business entity, such as an LLC. And an LLC is great because it can help to separate your business finances from your personal finances and give you access to more payment and banking options. And it makes taxes a lot easier because you can write off legitimate business expenses and really keep track of how much your business is being taxed. And honestly, setting up an LLC is just the first step. The harder part is making sure that everything is set up correctly and registered and making sure that you're staying compliant, which is why I recommend Doula. Doula is an all-in-one platform that helps you to form your LLC, get your EIN number, and you can even set up a US bank account even if you are not located in the US, which is a huge opportunity. They also help with bookkeeping, filing your taxes, and keeping track of different paperwork and stuff so that you don't have to do everything yourself. And one thing that people don't realize, including myself when I first got started, is how important it is to stay compliant so that you don't end up having to spend a ton of money if you file something incorrectly or late. And missing certain filings can lead to very expensive penalties, and that's why I like that Doula has this premium plan that can also give you a dedicated bookkeeper to help you and to make sure that you're staying compliant, staying up to date, and that everything runs correctly. This will keep you organized and on schedule so that you can spend more time actually focusing on growing your business rather than dealing with all of the back end stuff. So if you'd like to check out Doula, I will have a link for you in the description box below, along with a 10% off code. They also have free demos and a money back guarantee if you want help getting started. And like I said, once your Etsy shop is starting to get consistent sales, I would highly recommend looking into an LLC. So this is a great way to do so. And it's one of those things that you will be grateful for later down the road when your Etsy business starts taking off and becoming a reliable source of income. The next mistake following your business setup is going to be that you're ignoring your actual listing photos. Now, this ties into making sure that our listings are quality when we're selling them, but also listing photos are one of the best ways to make sure that your Etsy listings get clicked on. So when you're scrolling on Etsy, you have competition, right? The buyer that searches for something sees multiple different listings, and you really want to make sure that they click on yours. Now, of course, the price can affect this or free shipping, but the photo is the ultimate thing that's going to stop someone's scroll. And this is why it's so important not to neglect that and to make sure that your photos are good, they're eye-catching, and they actually showcase what it is that you're selling. Now, a mistake I was making with this that I also see a lot of people I help do is that they're making too many things going on in their photo rather than showing what the customer is getting. So this can be an example of if you're selling a print-on-demand product and someone's wearing the product, but there's too much going on in the background, it really takes the focus off of your customer's eye. We don't want to cause decision fatigue or confusion. We want the customer to see that product immediately, and then once they click, They can have different other images that showcase the product, how it is being used or what they can do with it or what they can wear with it. But that ultimate first image needs to be very clear on what you're selling. And it also can help the Etsy algorithm, because not that this is confirmed, but I do believe that Etsy uses AI to really source through their algorithm. So if your photo has too much going on, it can trigger different things potentially, or allegedly, because I don't know for sure, but just think about it in that way. If there's a lot going on in your first image photo and the AI sees that, maybe it can bring irrelevant things to your search, and then those people are not going to click. And don't be afraid to utilize AI to create your mock-up photos. I'll also have a video for you in the description about how I do that for photos and videos. Our next mistake is not building a brand. Now, I know it can be hard at first when you're trying different things on Etsy. Maybe you're not fully set in your niche yet. Maybe you're still pivoting between ideas. But once you start getting consistent sales on something, even favorites, or those listings are getting attention, I would highly suggest focusing on a niche specific store, or even a product specific store. Now, there's a lot of controversy across the internet and Etsy sellers regarding this. However, with my opinion and with my experience of selling on Etsy for over 6 years, I really can say that niche specific or product specific stores do perform better. I think this has to do with Etsy's algorithm and understanding who to push your products in front of. Now, what that means is that entire Etsy shop has a niche that I'm selling to, a specific person that I'm selling to. So for example, a niche that I have sold in for many years is the mental health niche. That niche has a clear audience of people that are looking for mental health things, whether it's mugs with mental health positive sayings on them, motivational journals, sweatshirts, stuff for mental health nurses or therapists or school counselors. I have an idea of who I'm selling to, and that's what the whole shop has to do with. Whether I want to sell physical products or digital products on that shop, I have a full understanding of who my target audience is. And I think that that goes so far beyond having a shop that's trying to appeal to everyone. Because if you're trying to sell to everyone, you end up selling to no one because you don't understand who your target audience is. And I think that this goes so much further because you can also create an actual brand based off of that Etsy shop later on. And that's what I did in my most successful shop, is I ended up creating a whole Shopify store, and then I was selling on TikTok and Amazon because I had all these designs, I had all these products that I knew people wanted, and I was able to capitalize off of that and grow the business as an actual brand rather than a side hustle or just an Etsy shop. And I know, trust me, it can be a lot at the beginning because maybe you're not sure yet, or you have a few different niches you're bouncing off of. But as soon as you see that momentum, really ask yourself, can I pivot my whole shop around this niche, or even niches that are similar? So for example, for mental health, I could also maybe start selling to nurses or people in that field. Really think about that, even if you're in the beginner stages, because if you really do treat it like that and you have a vision, I promise you can go further rather than just being like, oh, I'm kind of winging it. No, try to get clear on who you're selling to. You can always change it later. You can always update branding, but starting out with that way and that mindset, trust me, will help you to go further. And my last mistake is one that I see so many people make. And if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you watching, and I know this will help you. And it is to not give up too soon. Etsy is definitely not something that is going to make you rich overnight. And anyone that tells you that is lying to you or trying to sell you an idea that is just false. Now, can Etsy be something that starts bringing you consistent income faster than you expected? Absolutely. However, don't go into it with the mindset of that this is gonna be something that makes me a millionaire overnight. It's not. Etsy is an algorithm, there's competition, there's studying to be done. You're gonna learn so much from building your products and your shop. I learned so many valuable skills from Etsy on its own that I've taken into different businesses that I've started now, just because it is such a great opportunity for beginners to start understanding what it's like to sell online. I honestly think it's better to sell on a platform like Etsy or Amazon or TikTok before you jump into a Shopify store, because it can really help to be that like crutch for helping you with reviews and customer messages and staying up to date, because it notifies you and lets you know and gives you help, right? And so don't give up too soon, because if you're somebody that creates your shop and you list 30 products and you have no traction, yeah, it can totally be easy and tempting to just be like, this doesn't work, I don't want to do it anymore. But the people that actually stay consistent, even before it's an operating business, but they're treating it that way and they're really motivated and they are researching and they are taking the time for their products, those are the people that see success. It's like anything, if you give up too soon at the gym, you're not going to see the results right away, right? You have to be consistent with it, even when you're not seeing that amazing outcome yet. Don't give up. If it's something that you really want, there should be no thought in your head to give up. It should be, okay, how can I fix this? How can I actually do this and be successful with this? Not just, okay, I'm throwing in the towel, it's not working right away. Because if you start trying to jump to business idea that you see online, and now you're doing 5 different things, there's really not going to be success in that. You need to hone your focus in on one thing, be consistent with it until you see the results. That is how you start a successful business and get the business skills that you'll be able to take with you through so many different things. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know if you found it helpful. If you have any comments or suggestions or things that you'd like to see videos on, you can leave them in the comment section below. I'll also have all helpful videos that I talked about or that you can watch next to help you with your Etsy shop, or if you're looking to sell on another platform, I will have everything in the description box below for you. Again, thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.